Hi guys, welcome back to the new lesson, and today we are going to learn more future tenses form other than the one that we're already familiar with, which is 을 거예요 in 존댓말 or 을 거야 in 반말 that we all know. So there are three future forms that we're gonna learn. One of them is 겠다, and the second one is 게 or 게요, and the last one is 레 or 레요. So let's start without further ado. Okay, so let's start with 겠다, guys. 겠다. So 겠다 can be combined with verb or adjective stem, and as you can see from its form, 겠다 is actually the base form. So 겠다 can be conjugated in present tense like this. And following the conjugation rule that we all know, it would be 겠어요, right? 겠어요. So when it's conjugated, it becomes verb or adjective 겠어 or 겠어요. And it can also be combined with 습니다 ending. So 겠습니다 or 겠어요. And one thing to note about 겠다 verb is that 겠다 cannot be conjugated in other forms like past or future. It can only be conjugated in present tense to mean future, to indicate what I will do in the future, but it only has to be conjugated in present tense because it already contains the meaning of future. So I hope I made that very clear. So let's look at the first meaning, the first usage of 겠다. So 겠다 is used when you're expressing your will or determination that is quite firm. And one thing to note is that the subject can only be I, the first person. So if you say 이제부터, from now on, right? 이제부터 공부를 열심히 하겠어요. 하, verb plus 겠다, right? And 겠다 conjugated in present tense, 겠어요. This would mean from now on, 공부를 하다 means to study, 열심히 hard, right? I will study hard, and you use 겠다 verb to express your firm will. However, when 겠다 is used to express your firm will, I'm not sure of the reason why, but usually it's more often combined with 습니다 ending than just plain conjugated ending. So it's more common to say 이제부터 공부를 열심히 하겠습니다. You will hear 겠습니다 used a lot more often than 겠어요 when you are expressing your firm will or determination. So we're going to stick to 겠습니다 for this usage. So how about this year I will exercise every day. You can say 올해, this year, or 올해에는 for this year. You can emphasize it using the particle, topping marking particle, 매일, every day, right? Or you can also say 날마다, each day. 날마다. You can combine exercise, 운동하다, 운동하 with 겠다. And now we're gonna use 습니다 ending, so you can say 겠습니다. 올해에는 매일 날마다 운동하겠습니다. I will work out every day. That is my firm determination. And how about I will not drink starting from tomorrow. You can say 내일부터, starting from tomorrow, 내일부터. So to drink alcohol, we say 술을 마시다. 술 is alcohol in Korean. 술을. You can say 안 마시다 plus 겠다, so 겠습니다. Or we also learned another form of negation. So 안 마시겠습니다, or you can also say 마시지 않다, right? 마시지 않다 plus 겠습니다. I will not drink starting from tomorrow. More examples just so that you can consolidate your vocabulary. 담배 means cigarette, and it's often used when we mean like smoking. So 담배를 끊다 means to cut off cigarette, so it means you're gonna stop smoking. So 담배를 끈 plus 겠습니다. I am determined, like this is my determination. I will stop smoking. And one more. So 이제부터 synonym would be 앞으로. It means toward the front, literally, but it is also used to mean from now on, as in like onward. 앞으로. 지각하다 means to be late, usually to class or meeting or some event. So 지각하다, to be late. 지각하지 않다 means not be late. And you can combine the stem with 겠습니다. 앞으로 지각하지 않겠습니다. I will not be late onward, starting from now. Okay, so let's move on to the next usage of 겠다. So the next one is conveying information that something is about to happen, and this is usually used in very formal situations like announcements or weather forecast. So let's say you take a flight from Korean airline and you are likely to hear as a part of the announcement from flight attendants. So 비행기 means airplane, 곧, soon, right? And this is kind of a difficult word, but if you're on a plane, you will hear this a lot. So this one is pronounced 착륙. 착륙, following the consonant assimilation. And we're going to get to the meaning soon. 착륙하다, 착륙하겠습니다. Oh, sorry about the squeaky noise, guys. I'm going to switch it to a normal pen. Okay, so 착륙하다 is a combination of 착 that comes from 도착, which you guys already know, I'm pretty sure, it means arrive, and 육 comes from 육지, which means land. So it literally means to arrive on the land. So 착륙하다 means to land. So 비행기가 곧 착륙하겠습니다 would mean the flight will land soon. And you are likely going to hear this kind of ending, usually in formal announcements. When you are expressing your firm will, the subject has to be I, but in this situation, in this usage, the subject does not have to be I. 비행기 is not I. 비행기 is another subject. So it can be combined with any sentence that has a subject other than I. Okay, so moving on to the next usage of 겠다. We're still at 겠다, guys. We're still at 겠다, and I'm trying to focus the camera. Okay, so 겠다 also has another, a completely different meaning from the two that we just learned. It's also used when you are guessing it might be the case, you know, that must be, or he or she or you or they must be something, must do something. So for example, if you say 어제 밤 10시까지 일했어요. I really like this pen because it's producing less noise than this one, but this is a lot thicker, so it's going to take up more space. 일했어요. So you can translate the sentence, right? It's quite a simple sentence. Yesterday night, 10시, 10 o'clock까지 till 일했어요. Did you work, right? Did you work till 10 o'clock last night? And you can also continue and say, you must be tired. In that case, you can use 피곤하겠어요. 피곤하겠어요. 피곤하다 plus 겠다 verb. You must be tired. I'm guessing from the statement that you must be tired. And is it interchangeable with 피곤하겠습니다? Yes, both are correct, guys. Both are correct. But when you're using 겠다 to mean guessing, unless you're in a very, very, very formal situation, it's more common to use 겠어요, 겠어 ending than 겠습니다 ending. So we're gonna stick to 겠어요 for this usage, guys. Or 겠어 반말 rather than 겠습니다. And another sentence would be 요즘 these days book 쓰고 있다, to be writing. 있죠. 초, if it's a sentence ending, it's a question of confirmation. So the most close translation would be right. So you are writing book these days, right? You must be busy. 바쁘다. Or this time we're going to combine 바쁘다 with 시다 verb to show respect to the other person. 바쁘시겠어요. 바쁘시겠어요. You must be very busy. 바쁘시겠어요. And one more. Stop it. The baby might cry. 그만 좀 하세요. 그만 좀 하세요. So 그만하다. 그만해 means to stop doing that. To stop. 그만 좀 하세요. And 좀 is a filler word. And it's often used when you're making some sort of request. So 그만 좀 하세요. Please stop. The baby must cry. 아기가 울겠어요. 아기가 울겠어요. So if you keep doing it, the baby might cry. The baby must cry. So this is a combination of the verb 울다 and 겠어요. 아기가 울겠어요. 그만 좀 하세요. You can also use it with the past stem of the verb to assume or guess what might have happened in the past. So, for example, if someone tells you how great it was at the party last weekend, you can answer, that must have been fun. 재미있다, to be fun, right? And you can conjugate it in past stem and then combine the past tense form with 겠어요. So 재미있었겠어요. It must have been fun. 재미있었겠어요. Or it must have been cold would be 추워. 춥다's past tense plus 추웠겠어요. It must have been cold. Or 어려웠겠어요. It must have been difficult. Past tense plus 겠어요. So it can not only be combined with a stem to assume or guess what's happening now, right? You can also combine it with adjective, or you can also conjugate these stems in past tense and then combine it with 겠어요 to assume what must have been like in the past. But it cannot be combined with future stem because 겠어요 is making prediction or assumption based on what had already happened, whether it's now or in the past. And the fourth usage of 겠다 is when it's used as a question ending. When it's used as a question ending. So 겠어 in 반말, 겠어요 in 존댓말. And it is used as a rhetorical question of something that's obviously not true. So let's look at the example dialogue. So A asks, 지수, aren't you hungry? 배고프다, to be hungry, right? 배 안 고파요? 배고프다, to be hungry. And it's more natural to put 안 right before a verb. So that's why it's placed between 배 and 고프다. So 배 안 고파요? 지수, aren't you hungry? And 지수 can answer, 아까 점심을 그렇게 많이 먹었는데 So I'm pretty sure you guys know 그렇게 as like that, right? Like that. And it is also used to emphasize how much something is. So many, like that much. So 아까 점심을 그렇게 많이 먹었는데 I had lunch that much 먹었는데 배가 고프겠어요? 배가 고프다 plus 겠어요. And it's a rhetorical question of something that's obviously not true. So she's asking like, do you really think I would be hungry? Would I be hungry when I had that much lunch just earlier? 아까 점심을 그렇게 많이 먹었는데 배가 고프겠어요? So once again, it is a rhetorical question to emphasize that something is obviously not true. And let's look at another last dialogue for this usage. So 지수가 제 선물을 안 받을까봐 걱정돼요. 누가 제 선물을 안 받을까봐 걱정돼요. So 지수, 제 선물, my gift, 안 받다 means to not receive. 받다 means to receive, right? And this pattern, 까봐, 걱정되다, means to worry if somebody with verb or adjective. So I worry that Jisoo might not take my gift. And you can answer 이렇게 좋은 선물을 누가 안 받겠어요? 누가 안 받겠어요? So, 이렇게 좋은 선물, a gift that is good like this. So, a gift that is this much good, a gift that is this good, 누가, we learned it's a combination of 누구 plus subject marker 가, 누가 안 받다, who wouldn't receive it. 이렇게 좋은 선물을 누가 안 받겠어요? Who wouldn't receive such a good gift? 이렇게 좋은 선물을 누가 안 받겠어요? He's not asking for an answer. He's just using it as a rhetorical question to make his point, right? 누가 안 받겠어요? Or you can also say 왜 안 받겠어요? Why would she not receive a gift that is this good? Okay, so one more usage, the fifth usage of 겠다, which is also another question ending. And when you use 겠어요, it can also be a polite way to ask, would you verb. So you will hear this a lot from a lot of service workers because their job is to treat customers with kindness and politeness, right? So for example, when you're at a restaurant, a waiter or waitress might come over to you and ask, would you like to order? Would you order? Then he or she can say, so 주문하다 means to order, and you can change it to an honorific form to show more respect to the customer. So 주문하시, stem plus 겠어요. It's like asking, would you like to order? Would you order? And for another example, when you make a reservation over the phone, the person on the other end might ask you, when would you like to come? Politely, right? Then he or she can say, 언제, when, 오다, 오시다, honorific. 언제 오시겠어요? When would you come? When are you planning to come? 언제 오시겠어요? When would you like to come? Or when you're in a taxi driver might ask you, 어디 가다, go where, right? 어디 가시다, 어디 가시겠어요? Where are we going? Where would you like to go? In a polite way. So, 겠어요 can also be used when making a polite request, when you're asking a favor in a very polite way, and usually it's not used with 겠어요 alone, but a verb is combined with 주다, auxiliary verb, and it's combined with 겠어요. So, and you can also put 시다 verb to make it extra polite, so it becomes, the final form becomes verb 주시겠어요. So, would you please verb for me? So, we're going to learn more about this when we get to this auxiliary verb part. It would be one of the lessons in Beginner 3 course. And I'm also planning to make a separate video on many ways to politely ask a favor. So we can learn more about this expression in that video. But for now, you can just remember that 겠다, when it's used as a question ending, it can also be used to mean would you in a very polite way. And it's usually used with honorific form of the verb. So those are the usages of 겠다. And we're going to move on to the second future form, which is 게 or 게요 in 존댓말. And this one as well, the subject should only be I. It cannot be used with second or third person subject. It only has to be first person subject, I. So this one can only be used with verb. Please remember that, not adjective, but verb. The first usage is that it's used when you're making a promise. Making a promise. So you can say, I'll call you tomorrow. You're making some sort of promise to the other person, right? You can say, 내일 전화할게. 내일 전화할게. Tomorrow, 전화하다, to call, right? Plus 리을 받침 and then 게요. 내일 전화할게. I'll call you tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow. And also you can say 이제부터 안 그럴게. 이제부터 안 그럴게. So 그럴게, this one is a combination of 그렇다, to be like that or to do like that, plus 을게. And just like we learned in the irregular verb class, 그렇다, when it's combined with 리을 을, the future suffix, it changes its form to 히읗 deleted and 리을 placing it instead. So 그럴게, 이제부터 안 그럴게 means I won't do that from now on, or I won't be like that from now on. I'm making a promise, right? So you can use 게요 ending there. And you can also say 오늘 못 끝내서, 끝내다 means to end, to finish something. 못 끝내서 I couldn't finish it 오늘. I didn't finish it today, so 죄송해요. I'm very sorry. You can continue and promise tomorrow I will make sure to finish it. You can say 내일은, as for tomorrow, do I have enough space? 내일은 꼭 plus verb is like I will definitely make sure to. 꼭 끝내다. And then you can combine it with 리을 받침 게. 내일은 꼭 끝낼게요. I promise I will make sure to finish it tomorrow. 내일은 꼭 끝낼게요. So 게요 can be used when you're making promise, and also it is very often used when you're informing someone what I will do, usually right now or near future, to sound considerate or to be considerate of others. So, for example, 잠시만 화장실 좀 다녀올게요. 다녀오다, to go and then come, and it's usually translated as to go, because in Korean we usually like to specify that we go somewhere and then we come back rather than just focusing on go. So that's why we have verbs like this. 다녀오다 or 갔다 오다 are synonym. So 다녀오다 and then 리을 받침 게요. 잠시만 화장실 좀 다녀올게요. Would mean 잠시만, for a while, for a moment. 화장실, bathroom, 좀, filler word. 다녀오다, go, 일게요. I will go to the bathroom for a while. So you are informing the other person what I'm about to do right now, right? And I'm pretty sure you might be wondering what it means to sound considerate. And I will elaborate more on this when we get to this part by comparing 게요 and 레요, and why 게요 sounds more considerate compared to 레요. For now, you can just focus on the fact that 게요 can be used when you're informing someone what I'm about to do or what I'll do in the near future. 할게요. And you can also say 지금, right now I am tired, so tired, 피곤해서, 피곤하다, to be tired. 지금 너무 피곤해서 좀 to rest, 쉬다 plus 리을 받침 게. 지금 너무 피곤해서 좀 쉴게. I'm really tired, so I'm gonna rest a bit. 이따가, a little while later, 이따가 얘기하다, to talk, let's. So let's talk a little while later. Right now I'm so tired, so I need some rest. I will take a rest. 좀 쉴게. 다음에 you can also say 이 문법이 이해가 안 가요. This grammar 이해가 가다 means to be understood. 이해가 가다 or 이해가 되다 both mean the same thing. So 이해가 가요, 이해가 안 가요 means don't understand. So 이 문법이 이해가 안 가요. This grammar is not understood, as in you don't understand this grammar. 이 문법이 이해가 안 가요. Then let me explain. Let me explain. The best translation of let me explain will be using this 게요 ending. So you can say 제가 설명해 드릴게요. 설명하다, to explain, plus auxiliary verb, 드리다 auxiliary verb, 드리, and then you can put 드릴게요. 제가 설명해 드릴게요. I will explain it for you. That's what I'm gonna do right now. So KU has two usages, making promise and informing someone what I will do right now or in the near future. And always the subject should be I, the first person. Now let's move on to the final form. 뭐뭐 verb을 내요. For this one as well, it can only be combined with verb. 할래요. Actually, guys, for this one and this one, they don't have to be space, guys. Usually they're attached, so you can just disregard this space in between 을 and 레요 or 케요. They have to be attached. For 레요, it is used when you are informing your choice or decision. And just like 케요, the subject always has to be I. So let's say you or friends are talking about their plan to go to this really cool trip to the beach, and your decision is that you don't want to go and you won't go. You can say, 저는, or 나, because since it's among friends, 나는 안 갈래. For me, I won't go. 가다 plus 리을 받침 레요. 나는 안 갈래. 나는 안 갈래. I won't go. That's my decision. That's my choice. And also, if you say, 그냥 포기할래요. 그냥 포기할래요. 포기하다 means to give up. So it's my decision. It's my choice. I'm gonna give up. 그냥 포기할래요. Or you can also say, I decide not to eat dinner today. You can say, 오늘 저녁 today dinner 안 먹다, right? 안 먹다, 먹다 plus 을 this time, right? Because 먹 has 받침, so 물래요, 을래요. 오늘 저녁 안 먹을래요. I decided not to eat dinner today. I'm not gonna eat dinner today. 오늘 저녁 안 먹을래요. And at this point, I'm sure many of you would be curious when to use 을래요 and when to use 겠습니다 when talking about your decision. So 겠습니다, 겠다 is used more on a serious context, a more serious determination, whereas this one can be used for the choices that you make in everyday casual situations, like not eating dinner or not going somewhere or simply deciding to not do something, 포기하다, give up on something. So that's the difference between 레요 and 하겠습니다. And also at this point, I'm sure you might be wondering, then what is the difference between 을래요 and 을게요? When to use each one when informing someone that I am gonna do this, because doing this is also a choice, right? So this one, 게요, 게요's second usage is used when you are telling that information because you feel that the other person has to know. So for example, when you're going to the bathroom, if you say 잠시만 화장실 좀 다녀올래요, it sounds a little rude because 레요 is more focused on informing your personal choice or decision, whereas second one is more informing what I'm gonna do and you think the other person has to know. Because, for example, you are at a coffee shop talking with your business partner, and if you just straight up stand up and go to the bathroom without telling him, that's gonna be rude, right? So you tell him that you're gonna use the bathroom to be considerate, right? To sound considerate. So that's when KU can be used. Also, in this context, 지금 너무 피곤해서 좀 쉴게. 이따가 얘기하자. You're telling the other person this because you think the other person has to know this to postpone our talk. She wants to talk later because I'm too tired. She feels the necessity to inform this to the other person and sound considerate. And also for this one, 제가 설명해 드릴게요. I will explain this for you. Obviously, this context is being considerate of the other person, right? So you can use 드릴게요. Actually, let's look at one more explanation. So let's say you are living in a share house. You're sharing a flat with your roommates and you're asking if the bathroom is vacant. 화장실 아무도 안 쓰죠? So 아무도 plus negative verb means nobody, and 쓰다 means to use. 줘, like we learned, it's a question and thing for confirmation, right? It translates to right. So 화장실 아무도 안 쓰죠? Bathroom, no one use, right? Bathroom, no one is using the bathroom right now, right? 화장실 아무도 안 쓰죠? let me take a shower. 저 샤워 좀 할. Do you think 개요 or 레요? Which one would sound more less rude? I'm pretty sure everybody's voting for 개요. After all that I have explained. So you're right. 개요 is the answer. So 저 샤워 좀 할게요. You're saying this because you want to let everybody know that you're going to take a shower and use the bathroom so that people know that the bathroom is not vacant. There is a person using it, right? And that kind of information is quite important when you're sharing a flat with other people. So 개요 would sound more like less rude compared to 레요. And does that mean 레요 is like completely wrong? Grammatically speaking, no, it's not wrong. It is correct to say 할래요. But 저 샤워 좀 할래요 kind of sounds more personal than coming off as you are being considerate or polite to others. This one, you're just sharing your decision that you're going to take a shower. So people can be like, okay, whatever, go take a shower. Whereas 개요 definitely sounds more considerate. You're telling this to inform others of necessary information of what you're going to do. So that's how you can use 레요 in forming your personal choice. Okay, so this is the last usage of 레요, which is the question ending. And actually we have already learned this in how to ask question in Korean lesson. And so 레요 can be used as an invitation or suggestion. So the closest translation in English would be would you like to verb or do you want a verb? So for example, if you want to ask your friend, like, hey, do you want to go for a movie? You can say 영화. The most simplest ways would be 영화 보다 plus 리을 받침 레. 야, 영화 볼래? Hey, do you want to catch a movie? 오늘은 for today 집에서 at home 쉬다 we learn means to take a rest, right? 쉬다 쉴래요? Hey, do you just want to take a rest at home today? 오늘은 집에서 쉴래요? 오늘은 집에서 쉴래요? So this is kind of like a suggestion. 다음에 if you want to show your coworker like how your cat looked, then you can ask 제가 키우는 고양이. So 고양이, cat, and 키우다 means to raise. And we usually say to raise a pet rather than to have a pet. So the pet that I have, so the pet that I raise, or a cat, cat. 고양이, 사진, photo, 보다, 볼래요? Hey, do you want to see the photo of the cat that I raised, my cat? 사진 볼래요? So it can be used like this, 할래요? Okay guys, so that's it for this lesson. I hope you found the lesson helpful and I will see you in more videos to come. Bye!